Hi, I'm Ross and I'm director at UK Soul Choirs, and I'm here to tell you about how to find your voice part. So let's first of all start talking about what voice parts are. Traditionally, we have 6 voice parts that you'll have heard of from the classical world that are bass, baritone, tenor in the male parts, and alto, mezzo and soprano in the female voice parts. At Soul Choirs we use 3 simple parts: a higher female part, a lower female part and a mid-range male part. From our experience, we've created a male part that covers a broader range. And whilst we call it a tenor part, which is traditionally a higher male part, it's actually more like a baritone part, which encompasses a lower range. So how can we find your voice part today? So if we're talking in soul choir terms, that makes it much easier because we're just going to reduce it down to 3 options. You're either a higher female part, which is a soprano, or a lower female part, which is an alto, or a male part using the male voice, which is what we call the tenor. So as a soprano, the key objective for you is to really tap into that head voice. That's the sound. Now, our soprano range rarely goes above a top E. That's an E5 here. So let's sing from a low note that all female voices can sing from, and you'll soon find whether you can sing up to the top of our Soul Choir's soprano range. Sing along with this to an oo vowel. You'll see the letters come up on the screen. Make a note of which note you get to. Great. If you manage to sing up to those top notes, then you're most likely to be comfortable in the soprano part. So well done, you're a soprano. If you didn't manage to get those high notes, then you're more likely to be a mezzo, or as we like to call it, an alto. Let's just sing from a B flat 4 downwards to check that you have the lower range as well. Here we go. Sing this to an oo sound. If you comfortably sang down to that low F3, then you are going to be most comfortable in the alto part. And that is where you should start. But I should say at this point that is not necessarily where you will always be. Often you can start singing in a choir and realise as your voice gets stronger and has more stamina and stretched out that your vocal range increases. And that could mean that you become a high mezzo-soprano or a soprano. So you can change part anytime you like. If you're a male singer, then you don't have much choice. I'm afraid you will be in our tenor section. However, don't panic. Whilst tenor is traditionally a high male voice, our tenor vocal part is always written in more of a baritone range, which has got lower and higher notes and covers across the middle of the male voice. So if you haven't sung much before, or not sung in a long time, then it may well feel like the parts are quite high, because it's very different to your speaking voice. Your speaking voice is usually quite a lot lower, but your singing voice will be much higher. It may not feel like it at first, but your male voice will stretch with practice and as you build stamina. In our experience, having worked with countless men at soul choirs, we have found that with strength and stamina building and over time, they have all found the top parts of their voice. So now, in order to give you confidence, before you come to a rehearsal, let's look at the tenor range that we like to use at soul choirs. So sing up with me on an oo or an r vowel from this note here. Don't worry if you can't get to the top of that range, because over time, as your voice builds strength and stamina, you will definitely get there. So that's the basics of our tenor range at Soul Choirs. So you've heard the range of the sopranos, the altos and the tenors now. Hopefully you will have a better and clearer picture of what you are. But don't worry, if you still don't really know, then just make sure when you come along to one of our sessions you have a chat with the leader. We can always help you find out what your voice part is. Thanks for joining us for this video. Hopefully it's been helpful. See you next time.